October 26th, and we waited for the fog to burn off, and we're departing from Winters Point, Jacksonville, and it's 9:30. And he's just snaking around some crab pots here as we go out and head over to the bridges. Now on that point there, on the land side point, Captain J.J. Dickinson, in his History of Jacksonville at the turn of the century, he wrote the book around 1903, I think, if I remember right. But he described a Spanish fort that was being dismantled at the time. And I would assume that these forts are, or that fort was the same construction, you know, done under the same contract as the one on Rattlesnake Island, which you can go to the site files, the northeast site files, and see it's still standing. And the two that were at Piccolata, there was one at Piccolata Point down south of here, and one across the river from it. But at these choke points, the Spanish erected these forts, and this one had a moat around it, and they found quite a bit of Spanish money at the time that they were building whatever they were building. But around this fort, around this point here, and I'm almost certain out in the water there in the shallow part, you would be artifacts and coins and what have you. Under the 95 bridge, and head on around through the city. As luck would have it, that red flashing sign is saying caution, 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 because they're lowering the bridge. There's a train going to come through. I want to catch that on film so you can see how that worked. Normally these bridges are up unless there's traffic, because the train bridges are usually built down low to the water. Giving you the warning horn.
Well, the train seemed to have stopped. Then they're going to raise the bridge back, let us through. Matt's taking us through. I think Dee had the best idea. Just lay down and wait. Looks like we're on our way.
Hey, Jacksonville's an amazing place. The French founded it with a fort here in the 1500s, and the Spanish came in and put virtually all of them to the sword, and the Confederates owned the south half of it, and the Union the north portion of it. They vied for control of it. And this is just one of 4 major cities in one state. And people often wonder what capitalism does. Well, this is what it does. That's one heck of a barge right there. Now to navigate through, I'm using this St. John's River guide, which is excellent. A little bit dated, but you're going to have to use something, and I'd recommend this for navigating through. And as we come around Commodore Point, I've never seen a floating dry dock, but there it is. That's a good example of it. What they do with these barges is they'll load the cargo containers on them, and then once they get to their destination, they simply offload them onto a wheeled platform, and now you've got a truckload of goods to go to industry. Now there's our city. We've come around the point here. You actually take a jog around Commodore Point. Train's loading them. It's a busy harbor. You've got to pay attention. Now what this is a dredge. And you see that ball, diamond ball flying? Now that tells you that's the safe side of the dredge. On the other side, you got two balls flying, and that's the unsafe side. If you think of the balls as stop signs, you kind of got it licked. Swung around the corner here and greeted this under the bridge, so got to be alert. And we've just come from the Blount Island turnoff, and we're coming on around through Mayport, and just around this bend up here we'll be there, and close to the intercoastal. We'll turn south. Got a buddy following us up the river here. He'll be turning to the north towards Georgia, right where that sailboat's coming out. That's our cutoff for the intercoastal northbound, and we're going to swing right around and go southbound. Instead of going out to the Atlantic past Mayport, we're going to swing over this way and head south toward Miami. And as we round the bend, we come to the Jacksonville beach bridges. Red 10, you see that little triangle, yellow triangle, that tells us we're on the intercoastal waterway. We're in southbound from New York down to all the way around to Texas. You keep the red on your right, green on your left, reverse, we're going north. That's very confusing to people a lot of times who are used to the standard red right return from the sea. It says that's the 10 bridge, and coming up will be the 90. Connie's taking us down through the middle here. There's a lot of current under there. We can see that water just being sucked through. Just come around from the 10 bridge, you're going to have the 90 bridge straight down. B.B. McCormick Bridge, that's 90, and we're heading south. Got a Hatteras coming up on us, a little tag along ride, and we came inside, got a little light rain, trying to... Up ahead, that's the 202 bridge, and south out of Jacksonville Beach, and I just fell in with some other trawlers heading south, and Connie's got her inverter hooked up and back here working. She's cutting gems, cutting an opal right now. You see it on the slab. So this is the Highway 210 bridge coming up, and what we're going to do is come down the waterways, mile 760. We're going to come on down to this little anchorage in behind this island right here and hide out. We got a storm coming in, so you got to think of these things as you're going along, and that's where we're going to hide out. For the 210 bridge, it's just wild country, and we're going to start getting into some bays, and that, of course, that's where we're going to anchor. We're going up here to Green 25 and hide out behind Pine Island. Looks like somebody else has got the same idea. It's a good anchorage. Yes, home sweet home.